Hello, welcome to the show. Today I want to talk about my Powerbeats Pro headphones. It's these ones, which is the current end game of a search for the perfect running headphones that's gone on for probably more than 10 years. So I'll finish this run and tell you what I think of them. Now, I could go back a long way when I talk about running headphones that I used to use. I'm not going to take you that far back. I'll start with these. These are fairly typical of the sort of headphones I was using a few years ago. They're cheap, they are not very good quality, they're not sound isolating, they're absolutely not sweat resistant, and they're also a pretty hideous color of orange. I don't actually remember buying these ones, but I've obviously did because here they are in my box. They're like $10 a pair, and then when they would die, and usually when headphones start breaking down when you're working out, it's usually because of sweat damage. Then I started upping my game a bit and going to headphones like these. These were Bose SoundSport headphones. This is, I think, my third pair of these. The first pair didn't survive. The second pair is these ones. And again, sweat damage on them, so the volume control is now completely broken and is completely useless. And the third pair never got used because they were obsoleted by the next thing that I did, which was to go to wireless Bluetooth headphones, and I started off with these ones. Now, these are Jaybird wireless Bluetooth headphones, where they obviously go in each ear, and then this piece just goes behind your neck. Okay, so there we go. I thought they were fabulous. They were really good sound quality. They had some level of sound isolation, which is really important when you're on a treadmill or you're cycling on a turbo trainer or a smart trainer indoors, such as on Zwift, because you've got an awful lot of noise going on around you, and you don't really want to have to be cranking up the volume of the headphones to offset all that outside noise. So this started to get to a point where they were wireless, apart from this irritating thing on your neck, but they were also sound isolating, and the sound quality of these was pretty good. However, the sweat-proof ability of them sucked. It was absolutely terrible. This here is, I think the battery's in here, the controls are in here, and also on the back of it is 4 connections for the battery charger. These headphones would, when they fail, they would always be through sweat damage, and it would always be in a really weird way. Now, when I talk about headphones and sweat damage, firstly, I'm 6'2", I'm 200 pounds, so I do sweat a bit. But sweat is not just moisture, sweat is also salt. You excrete a lot of salt when you sweat. And it's the salt that's corrosive and damaging to any sort of electronic device that you've got on you when you're working out. But these ones didn't fail in the way you'd expect. You'd expect these things to just fail and just stop working. These ones started to slow down your audio, so it sounded like some horror movie set. It was really, really quite strange. And the first time it happened with these ones, I returned them, and Jaybird, which I think is Logitech, were brilliant. They replaced them, no questions asked. Then it happened again, and then it happened again and again. So I went through numerous pairs of these. Can't recommend them. They're not sweat-proof at all. So from that, I then moved on in a different direction. I moved to low-cost versions of those Jaybird headphones, which is these. So these are Anker. Now, if you buy any sort of low-cost electronics off Amazon, like battery chargers, cables, USB to C cables, etc., and also wireless headphones, Anker might be a name that you know well. I tend to trust this brand a lot. They don't do any of their own marketing. They don't spend any money on promotion. They rely very much, I think, on word of mouth and good reviews on Amazon to grow their sales, and I think they've done a really good job of that. These were $29. They're supposed to be sweat-proof, and in the main they did pretty well. Firstly, it was a micro USB charging port, and look, Jaybird, they put a cover over the contacts to at least give you some level of sweat protection. Now, the fact that these were sweat-proof helped. They didn't last forever. They'd last a few months and then they would die, but at $29, $29.95 plus tax, honestly, it didn't matter so much as when you were spending $130 on a pair of Jaybirds that you had to then go back to Logitech to get replaced. So I used these Anker ones for quite a while. Sometimes when I was traveling, I would actually use my trusted AirPods, and these are the original AirPods, the original Apple AirPods. Now, these ones work pretty well. They sit in my ear, they don't come out. I have run with these, and they've never fallen out on me. However, there is no sound isolation whatsoever, and the original AirPods, which is these ones,
are not sweatproof. I believe the latest ones are, but these ones certainly were not. However, when AirPods Pro came out, these are fabulous headphones. The sound quality is awesome. The spatial awareness mode, or the sound isolating, or I should say noise cancelling mode, is incredible. And the battery life is fantastic too. There's nothing to dislike about AirPods Pro, and these are the first generation ones, other than they would fall out of your ears when you're working out. Now, I know there's lots and lots of marketing, which Apple still do today with the second version of these, which may be better than this, but they have a lot of marketing where there's lots and lots of cool looking people supposedly working out. Maybe they're not working out, maybe that's why it is. With these in, it doesn't work for me, and it may not work for you. You put these in your ears, you go running, they're going to fall out. And if they fall out, they're going to fall on the road in front of you, or they're going to fly off the back of the treadmill because you're on a treadmill. I would not recommend these for working out at all. So I don't. Anyhow, I've digressed a bit. So when I went from the cheap Anker headphones, the next thing I fell in love with was these ones, which are Bose Sound Sport Free, I think they're called. And these are now 5 years old, and they still work. And I have never, ever had a problem with sweat. The only problem I have with these is the battery is now dying much, much quicker than it used to do. I get maybe an hour and 10 minutes out of these before I get that very nice voice from Bose in here saying that my battery is dead. They are super comfortable. They fit in your ears really well. The sound quality is Bose. It's amazing. However, you look like Lieutenant Uhura in Star Trek when you put them on because they stick out of your ears so far. These are not a current model. They've brought out other ones now that fit inside your ear much better. The other downside of these is because they're sticking out of your ears, they catch the wind very, very easily. So if you are outside and it's windy, you get an awful lot of wind noise. So even though the seal with the earbud is pretty good, you get a lot of wind noise, and so you have to crank the volume up, which kind of defeats the object of having something that is sound isolating. But I did use these for a couple of years. I used these until probably about Thanksgiving 2020. Our friend DC Rainmaker, and if you're watching a video like this, you'll know who Rainmaker is, said, look, these are the Powerbeats Pro, and they were on discount. They were on a Black Friday sale. And at that time, they were retailing for $250, and there was no way I was paying $250 for working out headphones. And they came down to 188, and these are just fabulous. And now here we are, 2.5 years on, and these are still my main workout headphones. So these are the ones I really want to talk to you about. Firstly, the sound quality is outstanding. They are using the same processor in these that is in the original version of the AirPods Pro, which means that the sound quality is very good, but also the Bluetooth connectivity, particularly with other Apple devices, is outstanding. I have this connected to my phone for music. I can also receive text messages. I can send text messages using Siri. I can ask Siri to turn the music down, skip a track, go back a track, reshuffle the tracks. Anything you can normally do with Siri, you can do with these if they're connected to your phone. So if I'm out running, I'm still pretty connected. These are not noise cancelling like the AirPods Pro, but they are very good at sound isolation. And the third thing is they are sweatproof. I mean, I've had these now 2.5 years, and I'm using them for everything. I'm using them every single day, multiple times a day in most cases. So I will use these for running outside. I will use these for weight training. I will use these for core and stretch. I will use these on my bike when I'm on a smart trainer inside using Zwift. I will use them on my treadmill whilst I'm using Zwift on a treadmill. Now, my treadmill is now 11 years old and it's done over 7,500 miles. So it's a bit of a, it rattles a bit. But it's got a lifetime warranty on the deck, so until it breaks completely and I can't replace the parts I need to replace, I'm going to keep it going. But it does mean, because of the sound isolating impact of these, I can be on my old noisy treadmill and I can still watch Apple TV while running Zwift while listening to these. What else do I use them for? I don't use these for, I do use them for running outside. And even though they are sound isolating, you do have a degree of spatial awareness. You know, I'm aware if a cyclist is coming up behind me on the multi-use path that I'm running on, then I can hear that cyclist. And if a dog owner wants to complain to me that that it's my fault that their dog is running around my legs and wrapping their lead around my feet, then I can hear that too, and I can probably have a conversation. Love dogs, by the way, no problem with them, absolutely love them. But I have got quite a few stories of dogs when running. So I use them for everything. I don't use them for cycling outside, and that's I'm sure they're very, very good. I just choose not to do that. I see a lot of people doing that, whether they're cycling for working out or fitness, or they're cycling for commuting. I do see quite a few people with headphones on. I just think I need to be a lot more aware than that, so I just don't use them at all for that. And I also didn't use them for swimming. There are options for swimming. This is not them. They are sweat-proof and weatherproof. They are not waterproof. And in any case, Bluetooth, even if they were waterproof, Bluetooth doesn't work underwater anywhere near as well as it needs to for something like headphones to work underwater. But that's probably a discussion for another day. Downside to these headphones is definitely this. This is the case for them. Now, I compare that to my AirPods Pro case, with a handy dandy cover on it, and my original AirPods case with an iPod Photo lookalike cover on it. Compare that to this one. I mean, this is a brick. Now it feels pretty weighty too. I think there's a bigger battery in this than there is in the AirPods Pro, but the principle is the same. You drop the headphones in and then it will charge. I charge these maybe once a week, something like that. It's a lightning cable, or certainly this is the current version, by the way, so it's a lightning cable, it's not USB-C. So for me, they cover the three bases of what I need in a good pair of running and working out headphones. They are great sound quality, they are great at sound isolation, in this case not cancelling, but sound isolation, and they appear to be sweat-proof. Something else I've learned though, when it comes to headphones or any electronics and sweating when working out, I mean, sweat is salty and salt is corrosive. There is no getting away from it. Wipe them down afterwards. So I do that. I make a point of that with my watch, because there are contacts on the back of this which are charging contacts. I make a point of rinsing my Fenix 7X under the faucet every time I've finished a workout and I'm showering. It goes under the faucet. And then for these headphones, I just wipe them down. I just get a towel, even if it's the workout towel I've been using on the treadmill, just wipe them off a bit. And I think that extends the life as well. But the battery life is holding out, so really no complaints at all. That's it. Hope this is useful. If there's any particular tech you want to get my opinion on, put it in the comments below. I'll have a look and I'll be happy to consider some of those suggestions, as well as some of the ones we've got planned for the future. Thanks for watching.